Good afternoon, everyone. I am Hassan Raza Changezi, the author of the book Unfinished Stories, A Tale of Hazara Genocide in Pakistan. Before embarking on the introduction of the book, I would like to welcome and thank you all for joining me today. I thank Friends of Hazaras UK and Chilbakhtoi Pashi Foundation UK for their endeavors in organizing this momentous event that provided me the opportunity to listen and talk to you. The book Unfinished Stories contains 30 articles, mostly written between 2013 and 2015. It was a horrific period when the Hazara genocide was at its peak in Kuwait. Almost every day, there was tragic news of the killing of some Hazaras somewhere in Balochistan. The victims included all segments of society: men, women, children, coal miners, vegetable vendors, traders, students, teachers, and sportsmen. Unfinished Stories tells a few stories of these victims. The book tells the stories of people who left home to earn a living for their children, but returned home in coffins. It tells you stories of students killed on their way to schools, colleges, and universities. In the book, you will come across some gruesome attacks on Hazaras who, on multiple occasions, were separated from their fellow passengers, identified, and were shot dead. The book contains stories of mothers who collected the remains of their children in plastic bags, killed in bomb blasts. In this book, there is also the story of the father whose son's grave has his picture on it, but the grave is empty because no part of his son's body could be found for burial after an explosion. In this book, there are also painful stories of those who were paralyzed for their whole life after being injured in bomb blasts. The book also contains stories of women who sat on the roads with the dead bodies of their loved ones for days and nights in sub-zero temperatures, demanding the government to bring the perpetrators to justice. There are also stories of those government officials who never showed seriousness to bring to justice the terrorists involved in the persecution of Hazaras. The book also contains stories of children who used to ask their parents what their crime was, the stories of those who were forced to leave their homeland, their friends, and their family to seek refuge in Western countries, and also the stories of those who left their homes in search of peace but could never reach their destination because their boat drowned in the sea or they were buried in a snowstorm. In this book, I have tried to explain how members of Hazara community felt when the government, instead of taking action against the terrorists, erected high walls around the Hazara ghettos, further isolating them under the pretext of providing them protection. In the book, I have tried to highlight the plight of those students who were forced to abandon their education, the entrepreneur who left their businesses, and the plight of those children and women who lost their loved ones in the last 2 decades. The role of Pakistani media has also been discussed in Unfinished Stories, which used to broadcast comedy shows instead of raising voices in favor of the community under continuous attacks. In this book, you will also get to read some satire, but even in these satires, many stories will be found hidden. These stories are not fiction. These occurrences occurred in front of my eyes, in my neighborhood, in my city, and in my country, which I felt with immense intensity. Most importantly, this book would never have been completed without the support of some dedicated volunteers. I would like to thank Sajjad Hussain Changezi, Zahra Shah, Sayyid Inayat, Sadkhan Betani, Muhammad Arif, Muhammad Yunus, Abbas Changezi, and Akram Gizabi, who volunteered much of their time to translate the stories. My special thanks go to Sajjad Hussain Changezi and Zahra Shah for devoting much of their time to read and edit the work of their peers and compiled the book. Thank you.